this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Port Clinton City Council meeting, regular scheduled meeting of July 27th. Please stand for the Lord's Prayer, pledge allegiance, and moment of silence for those serving and protecting our country. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the whole glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kate Belo.
Here.
Pat Hovis.
Present.
Beth Gilman.
Here.
Roseanne Hickman.
Excuse?
Lisa Sabodian.
Here.
Margaret Phillips.
Here.
Jerry Trolley.
Thank you. Council, you previously received the July 13th regular meeting minutes and the July 13th public meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Madam President, I move to approve the minutes for the two meetings.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Trolley. I have a motion by Ms. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Trolley, to accept the minutes as presented for the regular meeting and the public meeting of July 13th, 2021. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. The chair notes that certification has been made regarding compliance with the rules and notifications of this meeting. Guest presentation, Mr. Belo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Council, tonight we have a special guest with us, I believe, right? Ben Lucas, who is the winning designer of the community flag design competition earlier, late last year. The flags are now in. Ben's design was one of 11 originally submitted in late 2020. There was a down selection of to a finalist group of 3, and in every way you sliced and diced the survey results, which were conducted by an online Google Form survey. Ben's design, which is presented here at the front, in front of the mayor, in front of the president of council, came out on top. It was either the top vote getter or the highest average score for folks that self-identified as residents of Port Clinton. You lived in an area of Port Clinton, but maybe not a resident, or you considered yourself part of the Port Clinton community. So we're glad the flags are finally here, and I'd like to introduce Ben, and he can introduce anybody who came with him. Maybe tell us a story about yourself, how you came up with that design, and we'll talk about where the flags will be available for everybody. And please stand.
I'm Ben Lucas. I'm here with my mother, sister, brother, and 2 family friends. The flag, like what it is the central element of it is the lake, naturally, because I think that this city is pretty much the lake. You don't have the lake without the city, or you don't have the city without the lake. It's like the defining element of, our culture and everything. I don't have a whole lot to say outside of, I'm just glad to have done my part at making the city a marginally better place, and want to thank anyone who helped make this possible.
Thanks, Ben. I didn't tell you I was going to toss it to you for some comments, so thanks for rolling with it, and you did really well.
If that wasn't clear.
The purpose of the whole competition and the Economic Community Development Committee's intention was just to promote community pride and something other than, say, the city seal on a flag which flies around some of the municipal lots. So this is a community-sourced design and selected by members of the community. And like I said, no matter how you looked at the survey data, residents agreed that this was the best choice out of the final 3 and of the original 11, and also saw the highest average score no matter which way you looked at the data from the different rounds. So congratulations to you. We have a couple flags to send you home with as the winner that you can do whatever you like with. Hopefully fly it in front of your home. And anybody else that would be interested, I know the mayor and safety service director and I are working on some high-profile community space areas that this will fly, including, I believe, right next to your home in front of the City Beach over at Lakeview Park. There'll be one there, one down in Mon, and some other places. They'll be available for retail for anybody who's interested for about $30. We'll announce when and where that'll be. Probably here in Port Clinton City Hall for $30, and we encourage everyone, businesses and community members, residents alike, to fly that in front of your home and show some community pride. As if we need any more, but why not? So thanks for everybody who participated, and Madam President, thank you for the time.
Thank you.
I have one question, just so it's properly flown. Is your intention to have the anchor in the upper right or upper left?
Upper left.
Upper left? Okay, very good. Thank you.
You are more than welcome to stay for the meeting if you like, but if you would like to leave, we appreciate it. Thank you, Ben. You're more than welcome to leave.
If you leave, you have to take cookies.
Yeah, I'll accept the cookies.
This is all time.
You're gonna get a photo of
Yeah,
it?
cool. Yeah, can we pause
Dan?
for photos, and then maybe I'll run to your office and grab the flags for.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, how many would you like so you can come out?
4.
Maybe you want to post with it because you're really.
No, that's okay.
Are you sure? Go ahead. We can take a break.
No.
Gotta go take a picture.
Yeah, we'll stop. We'll take a break. Go ahead. Where's your idea?
Are you ready for this?
Do I have a
So the
motion?
face is right behind
Excuse me,
Peggy.
do I have a motion? Excuse me, do I have a
Well,
motion?
Sandy, 1 second.
Motion to pause the meeting.
Thank you.
Three or four.
A motion by Mr. Belo to pause the meeting, seconded by Ms. Gilman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the
I
same
can just take
sign.
my family.
Thank you. We will pause for
Hey, John, what do you
picture
think?
taking and do that. It is
Commercial break.
6:09.
You're usually better.
The meeting back to order is 6:12. Thank you. Do we have any public comment this evening?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Move on to executive officer reports. Council, under correspondence this evening, there is a liquor permit for libations on the Lake LLC, 17 Monroe Street. I've spoken to the police chief. The new police chief, he has no objections to that. And that can be addressed under correspondence. We have a third reading of the resolution 21-6, and then second readings. And they may, none of the second readings have been asked to be passed this evening. And happy birthday, Mayor Snyder. And I already have my tickets for the game, so.
Very good.
Monday's game. And actually, that's all I have this evening, so.
You must have been reading this.
Yeah. So I'll let, since you were here last time, I'm sure you have a lot to catch up on.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you. Thank you all for, not only at this table, but throughout the community for the birthday wishes. It was quite surprising to pull up to my office and see a huge sign in the front yard and go to get gas and see the marquee at Friendship Food. And every meeting I went to, my parents are crazy. I had a meeting at the Visitor Bureau and there was cheesecake and one of those things. I show up here and there's, no wonder I'm fat. But thank you all. The birthday ends in a 0, and it's really got me down today, but nonetheless. I'd also like to welcome the thousands of people that have flocked to our community for the National Rifle and Pistol matches. The high-powered phase of that multi-week competition began yesterday. There were folks from all over the United States in town enjoying their annual trip to the area. Just a reminder to everyone here and everyone in the community that the Port Clinton Firefighters Association is having their annual chicken barbecue, not this Sunday, a week from Sunday, August 8th, 11 to 2. It's takeout only, drive-through takeout only. I have tickets. You can also get tickets from any firefighter or stop by or call the fire department to get your tickets, $10 each. Exciting news, the next couple of days there'll be a film crew in town from a Netflix show called Meat Eaters.
I don't have Netflix, I'm not familiar with it, but others I've talked to are very familiar with it. They'll be in town Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, specifically focusing on one property, but doing some B-roll, as they call it, shots of our downtown, our beach, just the community in general. So if you see a film crew in town, that's what that's all about. August 22nd, it's a Sunday, is again Mud Hens Day, or Port Clinton Day at Mud Hens Stadium, Fifth Third Field over in Toledo. Call the Mud Hens ticket office to get your Port Clinton discounted tickets. Make sure you mention Port Clinton discounted, or you can call the Jet Express for a transportation and ticket package. The Jet will leave Port Clinton at about 2, arrive in Toledo about 3, first pitch is at 4. They'll come back about an hour after the game. They estimate if it's a regular 9-inning game, we should be back in Port Clinton about 9:30, so ready to start the day. Again, that's August 22nd, a Sunday. First pitch is 4:05. You may have noticed, I know I've noticed, that the streets haven't been swept in quite some time. Our street sweeper has been down most of the summer. It's driving me nuts. The part just hasn't shown up, and hasn't shown up, and hasn't shown up, and then hasn't shown up again. So Mr. Colston made arrangements with a private vendor to come through and do 40 hours of street sweeping to get our streets, or at least the main thoroughfares, back in order. It's not only aesthetically needed, but it's also needed as part of our overall sewage infrastructure requirements through EPA. So you'll see a street sweeper going through town over the next week or so. Folks, we're still in desperate need of seasonal help. Like everybody else in this community, the entire world seems to be short-staffed. We know that the weeds aren't getting done as they should. We know the trash is piling up some days. We know brush is sitting a little bit longer. It's just simply, we don't have the workforce like everybody else. If you're a senior citizen looking for a couple of hours to paint fire hydrants or weed whip, or if you're a college kid or high school kid looking for another job for the next couple of weeks, please give City Hall a call. Ask for Mr. Colston. We desperately need folks. We typically have 3 or 4. We had one, and that individual decided he didn't like weed whipping, so he went on to another adventure. So again, please, or volunteer, whatever the case may be. I think I can say that. But well, the union will let me know if I can. The Riverwalk, that project should kick off sometime around Labor Day weekend. You may see some staging just prior to that. That's been a long-awaited process. We're so very, very close. Again, the delay is all related to supply and parts and trying to get the steel that's required to make that happen. Council, in front of you, and Mrs. Ostheimer will post this on our city's website, U.S. Coast Guard Port Security Unit 309. It's a reserve unit stationed out at Erie Industrial Park. They are in our community. They're part of our community. They're having an open house on August 20th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. when the public is more than welcome to attend. They will try to coordinate boat rides, but I asked and they flatly turned me down. There will be no 50 caliber demonstrations or whatnot, so we tried. The one caveat to that, they are asking for an RSVP. What you see in front of you and what will be on the website will have the information to RSVP by August 8th to get out there. They'll have burgers and take you on a tour of the facility. So again, the Port Security Unit 309, they've been called to active duty several times over the past couple of years. In my day job, I'm housing many of the officers in that organization, a really good group of men and women from all over the state and all over the country doing a fine job to protect our community. At this point, I want to take you guys back to February 2nd, 2018, Groundhog Day of all things. Repeated over and over and over. Well, I spent that day in Becky Fork's junior high school government class, and I spoke to all 7 classes again and again and again. And some of you have heard this story. I presented that group with a list of 13 quote-unquote issues facing the city of Port Clinton at that time. And about that same time, I also met on various occasions with about 200, a little over 200 adult citizens of Port Clinton and presented them with the same 13 generalized issues facing the city. And both groups, although a slightly different order, came back, well, the question was, look at these issues, pick your top 5 and rate them 1 to 5. And both groups, although a slightly different order, came back with the same top 5, with the number 1 priority in their eyes on both sides being roads and infrastructure. No secret. But why roads and infrastructure? Let's put this in perspective. Take it a little bit farther back to the summer of 1955. Now, I wasn't around then, but my dad was 9 years old. And he grew up in the 400 block of Jefferson Street, right across from what used to be the old East Building, the old West Building, the old high school for me, the old junior high. And he and his buddies used to play football and baseball in the 200 block of East 5th Street, okay, right around the corner from his house. Well, from time to time, Dad and I, we're going to come back to today, from time to time, Dad and I will hop in my Jeep and we'll just drive around town and solve the world's problems. You know, sometimes we'll stop and get ice cream or whatever, but we just chat. And last summer, we found ourselves on that 200 block of East 5th, and Dad said, stop, Mike, stop, pull over. So I pulled over and he thought for a minute, and he goes, yeah, 1955, I was 9. I said, what's that, Dad? Well, that's the last time this road was paved. 1955, 67 years ago. Dad's going to be 76, and that road hadn't been repaved. So you ask yourself, why roads and infrastructure? And there's a prime example. We then spent the rest of the evening driving around, and Dad, I could tell, was getting more and more upset. He said, well, this one was then, and this one was then. So, you know, we've been talking about this infrastructure plan for quite some time. We've had no fewer than 10 public meetings. I stopped counting at 10. I know there's many, many more than that. It's no secret what the plan is. You know, we started off with a big project that broke it down into 2 little projects. From those public meetings, we've had public comment, and we've tweaked some things and tried to make it the best possible plan for the entire community. And actually, at this point, part of it is already in place with the infrastructure fee that council implemented back at the end of last year, starting in January. You know, folks, it's time to do this. The class of 2019 or 2018 realized that it was time. The adults back then realized it was time. Everywhere I go, people are asking me, and I think same for you folks, when are we going to get our streets fixed? You know, I'm elated that the folks sitting here and helping us make the decisions to move forward, I believe, are going to do the right thing tonight and put the issue of a street levy on the ballot this November. I can't wait to sign that document, and then tomorrow I can't wait to deliver that to the Board of Elections and get that on the November ballot. And most importantly, I really, and I'm serious when I say this, I can't wait for that first phone call of someone complaining that there's too much road construction in town. It's going to happen, but I can't wait for it to happen because that's a good thing. So, council, thank you very much for your hard work. The work's not over by any means because we still have to go out into the community and reinforce what we've already done for the past 2 years to get us to this point. But we are about to take a huge step in the future of the city of Port Clinton. It's ironic that you guys are doing this on July 27th. Yeah, it's my birthday, but believe it or not, it's also John Fritz's birthday. And I know a lot of folks have negative comments about the infrastructure and blame it back to Mr. Fritz, Mayor Fritz. And it's really not his problem. I've come to realize that. Because there are so many things involved in the operation of a city that you've got to adjust your priorities. And the priorities then were different than they are today. The roads weren't 67 years old back then. So hopefully July 27th will be a day that will be remembered, not for cookies or for cake or for signs on, but as a turning point for the betterment of the city of Port Clinton. And you all should be very, very proud. And I'm sorry Roseanne couldn't be here to be part of this. Hopefully she'll be on the official record. And I know you all are supporting this, and I very much look forward to getting this process going. And thank you all very, very much. Madam President, that ends my report tonight.
Thank you. Council have any questions for the mayor? Okay, move on. Auditor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. First and foremost, happy birthday, Mayor Smith. was one of the few that did not text you, so I figured.
Been about 7 tonight.
Keep counting. Just one brief announcement. I did want to let council and the administration know, if you did not know already, that the official 2020 audit has begun. That is being conducted by the state auditor's office this year. If you remember, in the past 3 years, the state auditor's office had actually subcontracted with an independent auditor to conduct an audit. So the state auditor is now redoing our audit. They have done it historically in the past, but just so you're aware, their process is a little bit different than the previous auditors. So don't be shocked if they reach out to you with any questions. If you have any concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to me as well. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you. Treasurer's not here this evening.
Do you have a report?
Okay,
Like-
did you? Yeah.
As of today, bed tax is $91,127.72. Dog tax is at $18,937.96.
Thank you. Law Director report?
Thank you, Madam President. Happy birthday, Mayor Sayer, for the 20th time today, I think. And I do not have anything else tonight.
Thank you. Supervisor reports, Mr. Colston.
Yeah, just a couple things. Happy birthday, of course. Don't forget, brush pickup is the 9th. August 9th will be back out. I see people are putting it out pretty early this time, but I just wanted to make sure everybody remembers. Second Monday of the month. So August 9th will be the next pickup. We are still doing potholes and patching. They are doing some lines. There were some questions by the urgent care that people were turning in front of people, so we have arrows we put out there on both north and south lanes along the Monroe Street there by the urgent care. So just if you see our guys out there, please be careful in that area. Things have been going well downtown with Mom, I think. There's been some great crowds down there, and some excitement. Some new places have opened up, the Affair, the Brick House, those kind of things, and so everything is moving in the right direction. So just wanted to say that. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Colston from council?
Madam President.
Yes, Mr. Beal.
Mr. Colson, down at Waterworks Park, I've noticed and I've been told by a couple residents that there's a blue watercraft on the
Yeah, that will be out within the next 2 weeks. That was, Sassy Sal had engines roll on their big boat. They brought that boat in to take the engines off to put on. So they're in the process of being able to get that out. They know it needs to be out within the next 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We'll move on to committee reports. Finance, Mr. Beal.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Economic and Community Development, Mr. Beal.
Thank you, Madam President. The Economic and Community Development Committee will meet Tuesday, August 3rd of this year at 6 p.m. here at City Hall. The committee will consider Ordinance 1921, which authorizes rezoning of 2 parcels of property located at 221 Fulton Street and 517 East 3rd Street, and amending the city's zoning map. As I think everyone in this group knows, Ordinance 1921 received its first reading at City Council at our last meeting, July 13th. The second reading is scheduled for tonight, July 27th, and the third reading is scheduled for August 10th of 2020. As always, the public is welcome to attend. And that's all, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. Safety Services, Ms. Phillips.
Thank you, Madam President. We have nothing tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Arts and Culture.
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Okay. Thank you. We'll move on to correspondence. Under correspondence, you have the Ohio Division of Liquor Control, libations on the lake, LLC, 17 Monroe Street, Portland, Ohio. Permit, that is a new permit. And the Planning Commission approved minutes of June 24th and July 8th, 2021. Does council wish to take any action as to the correspondence?
Madam President.
Mr. Beal.
I move to waive council's right to object to the liquor permit regarding libations on the lake.
I will second that.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. We have a motion by Mr. Beal, seconded by Ms. Phillips to waive any objection to the liquor permit. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Beth Gilman.
Yes.
Scott Hovis.
Yes.
Mark Phillips.
Yes.
Lisa Scodian.
Yes.
Jerry Trulich. Gabe Belo.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0.
Madam President.
Yes, Mr. Beal.
Move to approve all the correspondences.
Thank you, Mr. Beal. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Motion by Mr. Bealow, second by Ms. Phillips to approve all correspondence. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you, motion carries. We'll move on to readings of ordinance and resolutions. We have third reading of Resolution 21-6. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only, Resolution 21-6?
Resolution number 21-6, a resolution submitting to the electors of the city the question of a new 4.0 mil tax levy in excess of the 10 mil limitation in accordance with the RC 5705.19 and subsection 5705.19G for the purpose of constructing, reconstructing, resurfacing, and repairing and maintaining streets, roads, and bridges as authorized by the Ohio Revised Code, which is a new levy to run for a continuing period of time and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to Resolution 21-6?
Madam President,
Mr. Bealow.
move to retain the emergency clause in Resolution 21-6.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
second.
Thank you, Mr. Troy. Any discussion? Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Bealow, seconded by Mr. Troy to retain the emergency clause as to Resolution 21-6. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Lisa Sabodian,
Yes.
Margaret Phillips,
Yes.
Beth Gilman,
Yes.
Jerry Trolley,
Yes.
Dave Bealow,
Yes.
Ken Hovis.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0. The emergency clause is hereby retained as to Resolution 21-6. Does council wish to take any further action as to Resolution 21-6?
Madam President,
Mr. Bealow.
move to adopt Resolution 21-6.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Troy. Any discussion? Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Bealow, seconded by Mr. Troy to adopt Resolution 21-6. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Ken Hovis.
Yes.
Lisa Sabodian,
Yes.
Margaret Phillips,
Yes.
Jerry Trolley,
Yes.
Dave Bealow,
Yes.
Beth Gilman.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0. Resolution 21-6 is hereby adopted. We move on to second readings. The clerk, please read by title and summary only, ordinance 18-21.
Ordinance number 18-21, an ordinance to approve June 2021 replacement pages to the Port Clinton codified ordinances and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 18-21 this evening? Seeing none, ordinance 18-21 will be moved to its third reading at the August 10th, 2021 regular scheduled meeting. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 19-21?
Ordinance number 19-21, an ordinance rezoning two parcels of property located at 221 Fulton Street and 517 East 3rd Street, and amending the zoning map of the city of Port Clinton.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 19-21 this evening? Seeing none, ordinance 19-21 will be moved to its third reading on August 10th, 2021 at the regular scheduled council meeting. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 20-21?
Ordinance number 20-21, an ordinance revising and fixing the salaries and of the city of Port Clinton and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 20-21? Seeing none, ordinance 20-21 will move to its third reading to the regular scheduled council meeting on August 10th, 2021. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 21-21?
Ordinance number 21-21, an ordinance revising and fixing the salaries of certain supervisory positions classified as non-exempt employees of the city of Port Clinton, Ohio, not covered by a collective bargaining agreement, and replacing any previous ordinances referencing salaries for certain non-exempt employees and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 21-21 this evening? Seeing none, ordinance 21-21 will move to August 10th, 2021 regular scheduled council meeting. We have no first readings. We'll move on to business from the floor. Mrs. Movis?
Nothing to let Madam President. Oh, except when I turned 30, it didn't hurt that bad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trolley.
Ditto, Mr. Snyder. That's all.
Thank you. Mrs. Gilman?
I just want to congratulate Ben Lucas on his design. I think it's a wonderful design. I'm happy to see younger people participating in the city. And happy birthday, Mayor Snyder. Thank you.
Ms. Solonian? Thank you. Ms. Phillips?
Thank you, Madam President. Didn't hurt at 70 either.
So next year you're good.
Yeah.
Continuing, Fulton Street, the gas line changed by the company is coming along beautifully. They are so neat, because I go down Fulton Street about 10 times a day. And we're not making a mess. I think everybody will be pretty happy when all that's finished down there on Fulton Street, on to 10. The other thing, I don't know if anybody caught it, but in the newspaper last week, there was a death notice for Gary Marvick's son. He was our safety service, thank you. I couldn't remember what it was. I couldn't remember. Anyway, I checked and it was under Tom Brown, and that was near the beginning of like 2001, 2002 at the end of death. And I just want to make sure that we don't forget that there are people who have come before us who have tried. And he was one of them. Very nice fellow. Thank you, Madam President. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Bealow?
Thank you, Madam President. Nothing other than I hope to see Ms. Phillips out on Fulton Street with their safety vest that we get with the hard hat, doing quality assurance checks on the project. So.
I have my vest still. I carry it in the car.
Safety first. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Seeing no further business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam President, I move this office by adjourned.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Trolley. Motion by Ms. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Trolley to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. We're adjourned.